Good evening, I'm your host, Jack Remington, on the Jack Remington NFL channel. Last week was a mixed bag. Got some bad news. Lost both our survivor picks with the Rams. We should have won that game. They did everything but win that game. And when they got to pick six, I think they kind of quit. They're tired. I've said in the other videos, I've noticed something with the Rams. Second halves, they seem gassed. I don't know if McVay's doing something wrong with his conditioning of his players. The only one who's really trying for the entire game is Aaron Donald. Had a team meeting only with just his defensive players, and whatever game they were coming up next, they won outright in a wire-to-wire game. The defense looked pretty good, but that's the only game this year where the defenses look good. Even though their Week 1 upset against at Seattle, they didn't look all that hot. I think they snuck up on Seattle, and Seattle's had a bad game, and we had the Rams, but the rest of the league is caught up with the Rams. Just some bad luck with that one. At the 10 o'clock games, we were actually winning all the 10 o'clock games. We had the Ravens, they were just destroying the Lions, and we had the Giants, they were covering against the Redskins. We were looking pretty good, and we were actually covering the Cleveland game for a point. At 2.5, I mean, when I take 2.5, I can never seem to win. And one of them was with the Rams, they lost by 3, and the Rams was 2.5. I mean, 2.5 is my poison spread. I did some research, and I talked to a couple people, emailed a couple people, watched a couple videos. They don't take the 2.5. They'll lay the 2.5, hoping for a 3 or better score. And they seem to do okay. And I'm going to try that for a while, see how that happens. I'm not doing too well in the contest now. I've had, when you have 5 treading water or bad weeks in a row, it's pretty hard to stay competitive. So we're going to turn that around this week. We won 1 teaser, lost the other 2. But I got 5 teaser plays coming up, and I actually getting some clarity. I feel pretty good about my teasers this week. $55 unit money, entertainment money for the season, which is not bad for the bad picks I've been making. But we're going to turn it around this week. So let's get to the picks. Entry card number 1, we're taking the Indianapolis Colts pick'em, hosting the Saints. I just think the Colts, Gardner Minshew is moving the team. And when he gets settled, the old Gardner Minshew might come back, and I think that the Colts are a slightly healthier, better team. If Kamara's hurt again for the Saints, that's not good for the Saints. And the Saints, they may have this great defense, but how long is the defense going to keep putting it all on the field when the offense can't score any points or not enough? And the Saints they look like they're skidding. I just think the coaching matchup. I think the Colts got a better coaching staff. I think the Colts got better willpower. I think the Colts are rah. They got more. They got the same amount of wins they did all last year. The Saints are they're just not, with that great defense, they're not progressing the way they should be. I just think it's a good spot. And like I told people in the earlier videos I've made in the past, these are the games you got to master, the pick'ems, the -1s. You got to, and I've been doing so hot myself this year with them. There's 2 pick'em games this week. It's the Packers and the Vikings, and the Colts and the Saints. And I got them both on the contest. I got them both on the entire slate board. I'm going to try to master these games. I mean, you just got to pick the game. If you can't bat over 70% with these pick'em and -1 games, you're not going to win anything. We're taking the Colts. They've only won 1 home game out of the last 8 or 9 or 10 or something like that, and this is a good spot for them. And I looked briefly on both teams. Look ahead, who they got to play next. Nothing sticks out. So we're going to take the Colts. Pick number 2, New England Patriots +9 at Miami. I know what you're thinking when you got lucky with your Patriots and Mac Jones. Actually, had one of his better games. Mac Jones was 25 for 30. One of them was he went to hesitate and the ball just slipped out of his hands. His pass percentage was over 85%, and he was one of the highest ranked passers last week. So Belichick's got the team back on track, so to speak, or so it looks. Defense played good at times, but they missed some tackles. I mean, they let Stephon Diggs he broke 2 tackles and just went right in the end. And Buffalo got back in the game. That's concerning. They're playing a team, the Miami Dolphins. They played them within 7 points once earlier this year at New England before they lost Judon and a couple other players. But now Miami is losing some players. Tyreek Hill's he might not play. He's got a hip injury. I mean, without him, Tua can't stretch that field. I mean, in my opinion, I think Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in football. And the other guys I watch on this great channel. These guys took a 9-1 high flyer ticket. They put a couple dimes on Tyreek Hill being the NFL's leading receiver this year for yards, his receptions, and a 9-1 ticket. The ticket looking pretty damn good. I mean, he's so far ahead of everybody else. But if he's hurt, if he misses a couple games, that ticket's in danger. They still made a great bet at 9-1. I mean, a tremendous ticket. I mean, if I heard about that, I might have done that. Took a special trip just to do the prop bets myself. And I very rarely do prop bets, but that was a good one. I think, and New England's getting a little healthier. I mean, especially on their offense. I mean, I think they only sacked Mac Jones once. They might have sacked him twice against Buffalo. Buffalo's got one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. Bill Belichick is switching gears temporarily. Well, let's get Mac Jones scoring some points. Let's get the offense in gear, and we're going to play the if I outscore you, I win, and that's what they did against Buffalo. They got jumped on them early. Buffalo had a couple turnovers. They picked off Josh Allen, and there was a fumble or something, and they hung on. So I know I shouldn't get against this freight train in Miami. Miami B-slapped the other teams until they play someone that can punch back. And they've played two teams this year that punched back. The Philadelphia Eagles and Buffalo Bills, they punched them in the mouth pretty hard. They punched the bully. I think 9 points is probably what I call the gift line, the gift from heaven, like the guy in Vegas told me years ago. 9 points is a lot of points. They only beat them by 7 last time. And that's when Miami was cooking and had all their pieces. And then Miami's a little banged up, and the Patriots, they know they got to just keep the pedal on the metal, and that's what Belichick's going to do. And Miami's got a decent coaching staff, but they're one-dimensional. I mean, they're a great team to watch and a great team to root for, but they got no defense. I mean, in my opinion, I think their defense is worse than the Patriots. So give me 9 points. Give me a division rivalry. Miami might be in a little funk. They only scored 10 points against the Eagles. One of them was a pick against Jalen Hurts late in the game to get him back in the game. The tie of 17-17, but you could see who the better team was. I mean, there's no question the Eagles were leaps and bounds over what the Dolphins were. And like an idiot, I took Miami. I'm going to go against Miami this week, and I'm going to ride the Pats until the Pats revert back to the pumpkin that they were for 5 weeks in a row. Pick number 3. I don't understand this line at all. It's the New York Jets -2.5. They're at the New York Giants. They're both playing the same stadium. Giants are designated the home team, so that's why they got the star behind it. But the Jets, despite Zach Wilson, I think the Jets are the clearly better team up and down the entire roster, except quarterback. The Giants have a good dilemma that they're throwing out to the NFL. This Tyrod Taylor, didn't he play for the Ravens for a while? And he's okay. He's a dink and dunker, and he's pretty quick, and he's the dual threat quarterback, the modern quarterback, but he doesn't turn the ball over. The only concern about this game is that the Jets might have several turnovers, but the Giants won't have any. And let's face it, if you're 3-0 ahead in turnover 4-1 or 5-1 in turnovers, you got a good chance to win that game. And this 2.5, there's that number again. So I'm going to lay the 2.5, and I'm going to take a chance. The Jets got some momentum going here. They see Buffalo faltering. They see Miami's weakness now, and then they got to play Miami twice. If Robert Saleh can keep this team together and keep the locker room. They turn it around with the Zach Wilson guy, sort of. So it appears. If they can just keep it together a little bit, the Jets get some momentum. The next thing they'll be in first place. They already beat Buffalo once. Think about that. They're trying to win a title. And there's talk about Aaron Rodgers maybe coming back for the playoffs. I mean, it's giving them hope. I mean, let's face it. If they got something to play for, they'll put up with his rah-rah. Get your ass up early, and do the more stretches and get on that almost some push-ups. Give me 20. If they think they can win the Lombardi Trophy, they'll put up with the bullshit. So I know young men. I played sports myself all my life. Well, in my younger days. Oh, and by the way, last week the home teams were 9 wins and 4 losses. A reverse from 2 weeks ago, where the favorites slapped the NFL. There was a lot of favorites covered. I think only 4 dogs covered. The rest of the favorites came in, and of course we were zigging when we were zagging. Zagging when we should have been zigging. I was on the opposite end of both these swings. Last week, 5 favorites covered and 8 dogs came in. Okay, but I'm looking for a mixed match. A better mix and match, like a 7-6 or 6-7 or a 5-8. I'm looking for that this week, and the picks show that. I'm picking a bunch of road teams too. We're taking the Falcons -2.5 at Tennessee. I know it's at the poison 2.5 number. I can never seem to get it right, But and the Falcons, I mean, that Ritter guy, he had 2 fumbles at the 1 yard line twice, and then he fumbled it a third time somewhere else. They lost the turnover battle. They lost the penalty battle, but they won the game when they beat the Bucks. That was a division rival, so they knew them well. Okay, they're at Tennessee, and Mike Vrabel announces Tannehill's out, who I think is an excellent quarterback. So they're going to try this Malik Willis guy, whoever the guy is. They're telling you we're 2-4. We have no chance to catching the Jaguars in the division. They already beat our ass once good. We couldn't even beat the Colts. They know that Derrick Henry's playing hurt. They're hardly using him anymore. Just trade away one of their players, one of their better players. Why would you do that? So the signal is clear in the locker room and to the NFL people to pay attention. This is a rebuild program now for the Tennessee Titans. And they were the top-ranked team for a couple years in a row, and they kept getting stronger in the first round. And last year they lost 7 in a row, and they carried over to this year, and they finally broke that thing, but they're falling off the cliff. The Falcons are on the way up, or people keep saying that. I keep hearing that. I think Vrabel's a better coach than Arthur Smith. Smith does some questionable things. He smells the same thing that the Jets are smelling. We can get a good spot here. Let's steamroll these teams that we're supposed to beat, and I think they're going to do it. I'm a road favorite. I'm taking the Falcons. Last pick on the card number 1, we're taking Minnesota. I changed this pick. I'm taking the Vikings over at Green Bay. I knew I was high on Green Bay, and I got over wins, 7.5 wins. I might lose that bet because they have learned how to defend Jordan Love as the quarterback. When you're watching the game and you see how far back that the defensive backs and the cornerbacks are, but they're starting to cheat on them. If you know what to watch for when you're watching a football game, and then the linebackers are going from sideline to sideline. They're not moving forward or backwards. They're going sideline to sideline. I mean, I just can see it that they learned how to properly defend Jordan Love. Now every quarterback goes through this. All of them, the good ones, the bad ones, the in between ones you never remember or hear about. It's always an ebb and flow in the NFL. You got penalized 12 times this week. Well, you're going to cut down on the penalties, and you're not going to be offsides, and you're going to watch the shoving in the back on kickoffs. And next thing you know, next week they only have 1 penalty. Philadelphia didn't have any penalties last week, so they straightened that up. They reversed what was wrong with them the week before or 2 weeks before. So the ebb and flow of the game. Now Jordan Love, it's up to him to, and LaFleur, the coach, the best nerd coach of all, in my opinion. It's up to them to make the adjustments, and so far they have not made that. I know they just had 3 tough road games, but still, and Green Bay's home. It's a rivalry. Minnesota's got momentum going. If Minnesota wins this game, they'll be 4-4, and they're sitting in a decent spot for a wild card spot because they're chasing the Detroit Lions. And plus, it puts a dagger in the back. It gets Green Bay further out of the way. It puts them. If they lose this game, they'll be 2-5, and they want Green Bay's will be a non-factor, and the Bears are a non-factor. And Minnesota has to worry about the Lions, and if they can't overtake them, they're in a decent spot for a wild card. And Minnesota's games have all been close. They're doing again this year what they did last year. All close games, all one-score games, one-play games. We had them against the 49ers last week. I like what I saw. Kirk Cousins is still a good quarterback. I know they're missing Justin Jefferson. I used that in my handicapping when I beat one against them a couple weeks ago. But the other players stepped up. I mean, that's a good sign. So entry number 1, Colts, the Patriots, the Jets, the Falcons, and the Vikings. That's entry number 1. Entry number 2, 4 road teams, only 1 home team. And the 1 home team is kind of shaky. So we're taking the Bears plus 8.5. They're at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers shouldn't be giving this many points against anybody. So I'm looking at this as a gift. That the game is, his name is Tyson Bagent. He was a Division II quarterback. And the Chargers coaching staff, I have no faith in them anyway. Even if they have tape on this guy, which I don't think they do, how are they going to defend this guy? They're one-dimensional. They got Justin Herbert, and they got Keenan Allen. I mean, Keenan Allen is a beast. And Eckler, but he's playing hurt. And they have good players on defense. They just can't seem to get it together, especially second halves. I just think that if the Bears can run the ball and this Badgett guy just dink and dunk and sneak on them and ball control, keep Herbert on the sideline, and they might win this game outright. There'll be more Bears fans at the stadium in Los Angeles than there will be Chargers fans. So I just think this is a good spot for that. Second pick, we're taking the Cincinnati Bengals plus 3.5 at San Francisco. A couple of my buddies, when the line got up to 5.5, they just jumped right on it. Certain casinos, certain properties let you buy half a point, and they were buying half point. They were getting, the guy got 6 points, the other guy got 6.5. I mean, they screenshot their tickets and they email them to me to show me what they got, how proud they are. I mean, it's a pretty good bet because the 49ers were playing Sam Darnold as their quarterback instead of Brock Purdy, who's under concussion protocol. Purdy's not Tom Brady. Everybody understands that, but we respect Purdy. We like Purdy. He is a good story. It's my wife's favorite team is 49ers. I mean, she loves going to the 49er games. I mean, and I like the 49ers too. But you know what? Cincinnati Bengals are coming on, and they woke up with a pass rush again. I mean, they came alive. I can't believe they're starting the Sam Darnold guy. But because I've seen him, he look really bad at times. Wasn't he with the Jets and with Carolina? I mean, he's been bouncing around like a rubber ball. Oh, he's better than I'm ever going to be. But you know what? To me, this is a big drop off between Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold. I shook my head when I heard that. And now, the earlier line this season, I'm pretty sure the 49ers were favored, with 4 points, 3.5, whatever. But now it's got a complete line reversal. So, but this came out just in time where this Fishang's Westgate style contest simulator, they knocked it down from 5.5 to 3.5. So we're going to take the Bengals 3.5. I just think Joe Burrow is going to just slice and dice this banged up 49er defense. They've lost 2 in a row. Driving home last night, the guy on the phone. Well, I can't see the 49ers losing 3 games in a row. Well, you know what? They could lose 3 in a row. Anything can happen in the NFL. So I'm taking the Bengals plus 3.5. Watch Joe Burrow just slice and dice. And 49ers have no Deebo Samuel until November. He's got December. He's got a separated shoulder or something. He's out. He's not questionable. He's out. I mean, Deebo Samuel's a premier. I got him up with Tyreek Hill. I mean, they're must-have players that you got to get on the field to really give yourself a chance to win. And they have other injuries too besides Brock Purdy and Deebo Samuel. It's just a bad spot for the 49ers. I mean, it happens. It happens to every team. They get bad spots. Bengals are coming on, and they're in the toughest division of football, and they know it. Pittsburgh won a game they shouldn't have won. Well, Baltimore, look at them now. Now they're the number 1 ranked team in the NFL, and deservedly so. And you got Cleveland. If the Cleveland ever get their act together, this George Clooney stand-in, this Stefanski get his head out as you know what. Cleveland. They would have won undefeated with that defense they have. But they gave up 38 points against the Colts, though. Think about that. But we're taking the Bengals plus 3.5. Third pick, we're taking the Jets again. So I got the Jets twice on the card. Fourth pick, Falcons. A Chinese lady. She has a hard time pronouncing some American words. Atlanta Falcons. No, it's Falcons. Falcons, yes. Falcons. And she just can't say the L when it comes to Falcons, so I call them the Falcons because of her. But I got the Falcons on twice against Tennessee. And the last pick for entry number 2, we're taking the only home team on this card is the Carolina Panthers plus 3. They're hosting Houston Texans. Everybody and their brother is betting the Texans. Carolina's 0-7. They haven't won a game. They got 1 push. They came close once. They're playing the Saints. They played somebody. They got egg on their face. Did they pick the right guy with this quarterback, that the rookie quarterback? But I think this is their Super Bowl. This is their. We're going to lay it all out here. This is a game that we could win. We can catch them asleep. They haven't been in this position in years where they're a decent road favorite. The guys I talk to and email and watch on the boards, watch the forums, watch the videos, they say, "Well, Houston's only giving 3. This is a good spot. Take Houston." It's a trap game. It's a sucker bet. I mean, they're begging you to take the Texans. So I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. And we're getting a field goal. They're home. I'll take a push at this point. And my entry number 2, the ticket number 2, I'm so far way behind. And I'm averaging 1.5 wins per week. So put them on this card here, and you get lucky, and it helps me. But don't, and not losing much anyway. So now we're going to run over the entire card. We had the Bucks Tampa plus 10.5, and we took it. And watching the highlights, because I couldn't watch the game, I had to work last night. And my dog is sick, and my granddaughter's moving to Oregon in a couple of weeks. Spend time with my granddaughter while I can. I couldn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights when I got home. And if Godwin had turned around half a second earlier, it's that ball, Baker Mayfield threw the perfect pass in the end zone for the Hail Mary. I was impressed with that. And they win that game. They beat Buffalo by 1 point. After getting pushed around the entire game, they hung in there. They did just enough. And the Bucs didn't look that bad. They were competitive. And it was a must-win for Buffalo. I mean, it truly was what they call the clash of titans. It says two bad ones got to lose because they're both great. Tampa showed something. They showed no quit. They showed what they get. I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan at all. I think he's a chowderhead like the Sam Darnold. I've watched him play. It looked really, really bad. And that sticks in your mind how bad they looked. It's hard for me to get used to that Baker Mayfield may be really trying. And you might have woke up one morning and took some quarterback pills and hey, I'm an NFL quarterback. I mean, he was a social justice warrior with his let the guy off death row. He murders a bunch of people in Ohio somewhere. And the coach has to tell him to shut up and get back in the film room. Quit talking to the beat reporters. He thought, for once, Stefanski had some what's in the room and threw him out. But we had the Bucs with the points and they almost won the game. It's going over the entire card. So we had the Buccaneers, we got the Colts, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers, Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, the Patriots, all against the spread, the Jets, the Falcons, the Vikings, the Browns, the Broncos +7 at home against the Chiefs. Them taking a high flyer, they're going to keep it close. The Ravens, Bears +8.5, Lions at home -8.5 on Monday night. My camera's messing up something terrible. This DSLR I've had for 12 years is finally dying. It's got me. My face is so red. My hat is white, and this shirt is like it's flashing. The actual camera mechanisms were going in my camera. That's another thing I got to deal with. Okay, teaser. Okay, so I'm at a survivor pool, like I said. Let's go over to teasers really quick. We're down 55 entertainment bucks for teasers now because we lost 2 and only won 1 last week. And the way the juice works out, we're down $55. That's not bad for as bad as I've been picking. This week, I like these teasers this week. We got a 6-point teaser, a 6.5-point teaser, a 7-point teaser, a 7.5-point teaser, and an 8-point teaser. They're all high juices. Like I told you, I'm with this place. The teaser, the juice is pretty high, but this is my last year with these people. I'm going to find a different place to do this next year. And if you think about it, the juice is what's got me in the negative, despite my bad picking. The 6-point teaser with $1.20 juice. We're taking the Colts +6 and the Vikings +6 because both games were pick 'em, and I managed to get them both at 6. So that's a good 6-point teaser. The 6.5-point teaser, $1.25 juice. We got Cincinnati +10. The Dallas Cowboys just win the game. Just beat the Rams. I think the Rams were done. Put a fork in them. And Sean McVay, he hasn't shown he's been able to solve the problems with his teams running. They're sucking air in the third quarter every game, including when they beat the Seattle the first week. Stafford, he's not quite as good as he used to be under pressure. And the Cowboys got a pass rush. Dallas just got to win the game here. Just win the game, baby. We got a 7-point teaser, $1.30 juice. We got the Patriots +16 and Carolina +10. Kind of a high flyer. And watch the Dolphins hang the 73 burger on the Patriots. 7.5-point teaser. It's a $1.35 juice. The juice is getting pretty high. We got the Jets +5. I know I should never go through 0, but I like the Jets so much I'm going to do it here. And Cleveland +11. I'm looking for Seattle is going to win the game. If the defense can bum rush Geno Smith turns to a pumpkin. I like Cleveland. I like this Cleveland +11. And the one teaser I really shouldn't be doing this at all, as bad as I've been doing. The 8-point teaser is a $1.40 juice. That's a huge juice. We have the Lions -0.5, just win the game on Monday night, baby. And the Ravens -0.5. Got 2 big favorites, 2 big bullies punching down on bad teams. And the bad teams are the Raiders or Cardinals. I mean, I got 2 of the better teams in the NFL, the Ravens and Lions, against the 2 worst teams in the NFL. -0.5 each. I like these teasers. I mean, I took some time and I went through it and didn't rush through it. And Then half bake it. I mean, I like these teeters. We should come out and get back on top where we belong in the plus column with our entertainment unit money. Gambling, us? Poo. What's gambling? We don't do that. Anyway, I am concerned about Miami. That's why I'm going against them. They woke up in the mirror. We didn't do so good against the Eagles, and the Eagles. Oh, and I think Jalen Hurts. I think he's playing hurt. That was a horrible interception to get Miami back in the game. And we had Miami was trying to win the game. I liked it at the time, but he didn't look. That's the worst he's looked. I mean, and on the sideline, it's like he's in pain. He's trying to hide pain. That's not good. I mean, this Sirianni guy better. I hope I'm wrong. I like to be wrong sometimes, folks. Wrong for the positive, for the benefit of the good. This is your franchise player. If he's hurt and you're in first place by all these games, sit him out a game or two. It's not going to kill you. Chuck Noll, your world-class Hall of Fame coaches, they burn the game off to get a certain player or two some rest. They would have no problem. Belichick would even do that. But these guys today, these nerd coaches, it's like they're actually more conservative than the old dinosaurs like us. This Sirianni, he's got that tush push thing, which is a great innovation in football, and I hope they keep it. But I just wanted to say it. I think that Jalen Hurts is playing hurt. Look at his touchdown ratio at this point now, and that last year is really different. And their defense is on pace to break their own record from 70 sacks last year. I mean, so the Eagles' defense is winning these games for them. When the team catches up and they close a gap and either tie them or get close to them, then they start playing hard again. And then, like the Tampa scored when they went for 4th and 12 and made it and got a touchdown and got a 2-point conversion. Well, that got the game close. When the Philadelphia got the ball and they peeled off 5 straight, and Tampa never got the ball back. They suck it up when they have to win. It's not of a great team. I'm not complaining about that. I'm not making a complaint here. I'm making an observation. Philadelphia, when they're trying, when they got the foot on the metal, they look to me to be the best team, better than Kansas City, better than anybody. When they're crisp and they're executing, I mean, it's one of the best teams I've ever seen. But sometimes they just hand the ball on 1-yard gain. Hurts, he missed a wide. It's very inconsistent. And I know they got the Super Bowl hangover, but you know what? I don't think Philadelphia got the Super Bowl hangover. I think they actually improved, but they're just not showing it on the field. And Jalen Hurts is playing hurt, and that's why I'm a little afraid of this Washington game. That's why I didn't put him on the card. I had to pick every game. I understand that. I picked the Eagles to beat the Commanders at Washington because they already beat them once in overtime. But they were way ahead in that game, and they let the Commanders sneak up again. And Ron Rivera, I didn't want to go for 2 because my team was tired. And he threw his team under the bus. He lost that locker room. The Giants lost their locker room. So I look for things like that, and I'll go against a team. I will not be able to watch any of the games this Sunday. I'm taking my granddaughter to the Santa Barbara Zoo to see the zoo lights, and she's moving in a couple weeks. She's in Happy Valley, Oregon, north of Portland. They sold her house, and they had to reinvest their money. They got 2 years, and he's not an old codger like me where you don't have to do it. He has to do something where they have to pay taxes on the house he sold in Woodland Hills. So long story short, he's got to make a move, and he did it. It's my only grandchild, and I got to spend time with her. So that's. I will not be able to watch the football game. I'll watch the highlights, and I'll keep up with it. Hope you understand it. My family. I hope you understand my family's got to come first. So long live the NFL. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Good luck to everybody. Enjoy the games. When I say good luck to everybody, I'm not rooting for one person against another. None of that. I wish everybody good luck in your endeavors and have great lives. Patriotic Americans. So I just want everybody to do well. That's how I am. That's the real me. So I've said enough. I talk way too much. Thank you, players. Good luck. The clarity's coming back, I promise. And in a couple of weeks, we're really going to start steamrolling. I mean, I can sense it. I can always see the comeback coming. And this is going to be it. Thank you, players. Have a good day. Oh, please like, share, subscribe, make some comments. Just don't curse me out and threaten me. And then I have to delete it. So, thank you. Have a good day.